Hello, I'm Dr. Sri Banerjee, certified astrologer, and in this segment I'm going to be going over more on Vedic astrology, specifically as it pertains to love matches. And just a little bit of a context here. Love is something that was not necessarily the reason people got married or tried to form a bond. It was more of an arranged marriage. So the only way for people to find out if there's compatibility was using some of these astrological devices and tools. So I call this the language of love, Vedic astrology. So let's go ahead and get started here. Just for starters here, most modern Vedic astrology software has this feature. I was able to check mine in a subsequent video. I'll show you that. So if you are to find this feature for comparing two charts, 36 points are given based on matching the moons in the two charts, although in practice the maximum score is 35. Essentially, it relies on comparing how well the moon nakshatra or moon rashi of one partner aligns with the moon nakshatra of the other partner. And if the final score is 18, then the match is favorable. Anything 25 or higher is indicating actually a very good match. So anything under 18 is not favorable. So again, it's the system. The name of the system is called Guta. Guta system examines 12 factors based on the moon's relative position in the two charts. Briefly, these are Varna Guta, which compares the castes of the moon rashis, not nakshatras, and then Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And this is considered the spiritual development of the couple. Typically, Brahmin is more of the priest class, and Kshatriyas are warriors, Vaishyas are business people, and then Shudras are more laborers. This is from the Vedic system. From a classification system, was more something that was there more in the ancient times. However, the after effects are still felt within the country, within certain parts of India. So the first Kuta is looked at as Vashya Kuta, and this means magnetic attraction, which is based on the moon sign compatibility, not nakshatras. So if there's enough magnetic attraction, then we get the full points, and this is more from the astrological stance. Lina Kuta or Tara Kuta, which is based on the relative position of the nakshatras and is said to give good fortune and longevity as a couple. And then Yoni Kuta I've covered in great detail in another lecture. However, this measures sexual compatibility and is based on matching the various animals that are represented by the 27 nakshatras. Then there's 5 points for Graha Maitram, which is comparing the natural planetary friendship between the lords of the moon. So, for instance, the lord of the moon in Taurus would be Venus, and then the ruler of moon in Sagittarius would then be Jupiter. So you would try to see if there's a connection between Venus and Jupiter in the chart. So next is Ganakuta, which is 6 points and compares the psychological temperament of the couple by the agreement of the nakshatra temperaments. So it's either the temperaments are Deva, which is divine, Manushya, which is human, and then Rakshasa, which is demon. And so depending on these classifications and compatibility, you can try to understand what the Ganakuta is. Rashikuta is based on, this is 7 points, very important, this one and the next one. This is based on the relative moon Rashi positions, indicating various auspicious and inauspicious factors such as longevity, happiness, sorrow, wealth, poverty, children, health, and prosperity. And then Nadikuta compares the Ayurvedic temperaments, Vata, Pitta, and Kapha, of the couple's moon nakshatras, which indicates how their psychophysiological energies resonate with each other. This is also said to indicate spiritual compatibility. And this Kuta is obviously very important due to the large number of points awarded, as I said earlier. So just if you don't remember anything from what I told you, Nadikuta is very important to know. So there's more, some more system of matching. Mahendra, no points are given, but however, it's an indicator of progeny and longevity of the relationship. And is measured by the relative position of the two moon nakshatras. Stri Dirgha, where no points are given, also is an indicator of longevity and general auspiciousness. Again, two moon nakshatras. Rajju, no points given, is an indicator of longevity of the marriage and is also based on the relative position of the two nakshatras. So taking a look finally at other types of kutas. Veda kuta is based on the fact that some pairs of nakshatras are mutually incompatible, and a marriage is not recommended between two people who have their moons in these mutually afflicted nakshatras. So it can be seen that 4 of the kutas do not contribute to the overall score of 36, but one should not overlook these. So that's the end of this understanding where a lot of these compatibility, love compatibility assignments are made. Is especially important to understand when you're trying to understand the meaning of the chart that is being created. In this final part, I'm going to show you a demonstration in one of the Vedic software, which shows the compatibility. So here is Jagannath Hora. This is actually a very good astrological software as long as you know how to use it. So just for starters here, this is my natal chart and my time of birth and place of birth. And so the starting point of the Rashi and the Navamsa chart are located here, and then the nakshatras that are correspondent to all of your planets are here. And so my moon happens to be in Uttarashadha, and so here is all of the different information about Uttarashadha, and near the Karkatithi was Amavasya, or closer to new moon. So there's a lot of information here, but what we're looking for here is what the compatibility is. I'm going to show you several examples of this. So when you're considering a bride in Aswini and the first house, the first pada, so say for instance this is an example, then this has to, in some ways, the kutas have to match. So let's see if this is a good compatible sign. So this says level of match is good. Like I said, 26 out of 36 is not bad. And of course, this is a thumb rule, doesn't mean that your marriage will be successful or a failure. So let's look at another example here. So then, say, let's take a look at another Uttarashadha and see if there's more compatibility. And so between padas, the level of match is average. So this is not something that you would necessarily want to have. Ashtakuta is half, 18 out of 36. And then let's look at another one here. since this was not a good compatibility. And so we can take a look at the fourth pada just for comparison. And that is a good match. So as you can see, I think this is an important point to make. Even if you are in the same nakshatra, it actually matters which pada you are in. So as you can see, the second and fourth pada are much more compatible than the others. Much more compatible than the last one that I showed you, which had a score of 18, which is 10 points lower. So this has given you further insight as to how to demonstrate this and find out in a Vedic astrological software how to identify compatibility and love compatibility. Thank you for listening.